You know, we're all aware of how hungry for praise he is constantly, but I'm always surprised by how eager his suck-ups are to feed it to him. There is a nonpartisan agency called the U.S. Institute for Peace. And earlier this year, the Trump administration slashed their funding. They threatened to take over their building. But I guess in an effort to appease him, a compromise has been reached. And this is the compromise. This is the building, the United States Institute of Peace. It is now the Donald J. Trump United States Institute of Peace and Casino. They put his name on the building.
Donald Trump just held a disastrous late-night press conference on Saturday as part of his Kennedy Center honors award ceremony where he's giving awards to like Sylvester Stallone and people like that. It's so odd, but this is what he was doing. He was just making noises like ping, 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 ping. Here, play this clip.
Ping, 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 ping. Everybody thinks that, oh, this guy, oh.
And the press conference got even more bizarre after going ping, 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 ping. He started talking about how he loves to do the tile work at the White House and how President Truman did the original tiles in the Lincoln bedroom, and those tiles are bad, but Trump's really focused on the tile work in the White House now. Here, play this clip.
For the first 4 years, I was the hunted. So I didn't have a lot of time to fix up the floors, to redo the Lincoln bathroom. It took a little heat. It was the worst job. Was done in many years ago. It was done during actually the Truman administration with very cheap green tile. That was in Lincoln. Now we have it done in beautiful, beautiful Paradiso marble. It's all book matched. It's so beautiful. And people said, oh, why is he wasting time? That's not wasting time. That's saving our heritage. You know, many, many things like that. It's saving the heritage of this country. And it's so
Melania Trump was so criticized for using what turned out to be a portion of your speech. But do you have any sympathy? Because there are people around her creating things, and, you know, I have some sympathy for her. Do you understand how that might be sympathetic for what happened to her?
Yeah, that was tough.
You've probably seen it. A viral post claiming Michelle Obama and Jimmy Kimmel just destroyed Trump in some epic live TV showdown that shook Washington. The post says it happened in November 2025, includes dramatic quotes about when power becomes a performance, and warns you to watch before it disappears from your feed. Here's the problem. It's completely fake, like not even a little bit true. And before we get into the real moments when Michelle Obama and Kimmel absolutely demolished Trump on live television, and trust me, those moments are incredible, we need to talk about why this fake story matters. But first, hit that subscribe button because YouTube's algorithm buries content that calls out misinformation, and we need you to help spread the truth.
And he let it remain. A White House spokesperson defended this renaming, claiming the organization was once a bloated, useless entity that blew $50 million per year while delivering no peace. So they named it after another bloated, useless entity that delivered no peace. Trump, of course, visited his new building this morning to take credit for his work bringing together the leaders of Rwanda and the Congo.
I want to thank the two courageous leaders. They are courageous leaders. They really are courageous leaders, great people. President Tshisekedi.
Perfect. Could we hear that again?
Tshisekedi.
And he spent a considerable time in this disastrous press conference, which for reasons that are still unclear that he's holding, and it's taking place at the State Department, he talks more about replacing tiles. Here, play this clip.
We now have that in the White House, replacing one by one tiles that were not good. But we've fixed the White House and we've fixed the Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center has some work to be done. We've worked very hard on it, actually. I spent a lot of time there with contractors. I mean, I go around, I have two jobs. I have a construction job, which is really like relaxation for me because I've been doing it all my life.
And then he said that, lots of people are asking him, are you better at doing tiles or are you better as a politician? And should you be doing real estate or a politician? And here's what he says. Here, play this clip.
It's good. It's what we already have. So it's sort of, I don't know, I like to tell you those little construction because we talk politics all the time and I like politics too. I said to somebody the other day, am I a better politician or construction real estate person? And they didn't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure how to answer it either, if you want to know the truth. But I actually get great relaxation out of fixing the White House, fixing the Kennedy Center, and
So let's fact check this viral nonsense. Lead stories, Yahoo News, and Meow investigated. The verdict? Michelle Obama hasn't been on Kimmel since December 2022, over 3 years ago. ABC's schedule shows no November 2025 appearance. IMDb database, nothing. News coverage, zero. Those trending hashtags the Post claimed were on fire don't exist. The Post came from Capital Whisper on Facebook with all the misinformation red flags. Urgent language, vague quotes, no video link, just photos and promises. Why does this matter? Trump supporters flood the zone with fake stories so real evidence gets lost in the noise. Classic disinformation. If everything looks like propaganda, actual proof becomes just another claim. So let me give you something those fake news peddlers can't. The actual, documented, verifiable moments when Michelle Obama and Jimmy Kimmel exposed Trump on live television.
So let me be as honest and clear as I possibly can. Donald Trump is the wrong president for our country. He has had more than enough time to prove that he can do the job, but he is clearly in over his head. He cannot meet this moment. He simply cannot be who we need him to be for us. It is what it is.
Many were surprised to see Darth Renovator on 60 Minutes. You know, 1 year after suing 60 Minutes for editing an interview, Trump sits down with 60 Minutes for an edited interview. Norah O'Donnell pressed the president on a number of issues, but his message was clear. Me, good. Biden, bad.
They've seen their grocery prices go up, inflation.
No, you're wrong. They went up under Biden. This was because of Biden. We've accepted all of these people because of Biden's open border policy. I put tariffs on China, but Biden let it lapse. What Biden did to our country should never, ever be forgotten. That was Joe Biden's war, not my war. We have no inflation. Biden had inflation and he didn't have tariffs. Look what happened to our country by having Biden as the president. Our country went to hell.
Yes, it did. And you were the Uber driver who brought us there.
Then he talks about how the new board of trustees for the Kennedy Center is really hot, and he fired all the other people who were previously on the board of the Kennedy Center. By the way, attendance at the Kennedy Center is down like 60%, 70%. No one wants to go to this ridiculous clown show. And he's like, they're hot. You know who else is hot? The Supreme Court is hot. And you know who else is hot? The NFL. The NFL is hot. The U.S. Senate is hot. What are you doing? What are you talking about? What you're just saying things that you believe are randomly hot? Like, is that where your mind is going? Here, play this clip.
A very special thanks as well to our terrific Kennedy Center Board of Trustees, along with Executive Director Rick Grinnell. The Board of Trustees has been amazing. It's got to be the hottest board, or I don't know, the Supreme Court is pretty hot. I would say the Supreme Court, the U.S. Senate, the NFL Owners Committee, I think that's pretty good too. But I think the board of the Kennedy Center is turning out to be, we have so many people who want to have so many enemies now because they want to be.
Then he talks about Gary Player, a golfer, and he says, we played the other day and he's still a great golfer. This is really addressing what the American people are going through, Donald. Here, play this clip.
Have spent their lives making the most of their incredible God-given talents. They have talent. They have talent. The great Gary Player, he hits shots. He's 90 years old, still plays good. He shot a 70 with me the other day. He's 90. He played pretty far back, too. He's incredible. You think Biden could do that? I don't think so. You can't lift the club. But Gary was demonstrating shots, and one guy was having a very hard time, couldn't get out of a sand trap. Gary's known as the greatest sand player, #1 ever.
With dates, with video evidence, with receipts. Make sure you hit that like button because what you're about to hear is 100% real and absolutely devastating. November 15th, 2018. Michelle Obama appears on Kimmel promoting Becoming. In the book, she wrote about Trump's birther conspiracy. Donald Trump, with his loud and reckless innuendos, was putting my family's safety at risk, and for this, I'd never forgive him. She called it crazy and mean-spirited, exposing its bigotry and xenophobia hardly concealed. The devastating part? What if someone with an unstable mind loaded a gun and drove to Washington? What if that person went looking for our girls?
Trump that Obama isn't openly criticizing is Melania Trump.
Is the current First Lady, how do you think she is doing in defining who she is?
You know, one of the things you learn as a former, it's like, I don't judge what a current is doing, you know? So I'd prefer not to, speak on what she's doing versus what I did.
And although Obama hosted Trump for a brief welcome tea at the White House after the election, telling her that she was available for advice anytime should Trump need her, Obama's phone has remained silent.
I know that Laura Bush reached out to you and said, if you need any help, I'm a phone call away.
Yep.
You wrote about how, and have talked about how you extended that same courtesy to Melania Trump. Has she reached out to you and asked for any help?
No, she hasn't.
He's gunning for our journalists, too. He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. Walter Cronkite must be spinning in his grave right now. He's dead, right? Yeah. Look, I never imagined.
Then Donald says, decades, even centuries from now, people are going to be talking about Sylvester Stallone. Here, play this clip.
Each of them has given us treasures that will be passed down every future generation. And I don't think you even appreciate what you've done. I don't think you really appreciate your greatness. Decades and even centuries from now, people will still watch and admire the films of Sylvester Stallone. There's nobody else can do those.
And Donald Trump lies and says that last year, under former President Biden, most D.C. restaurants were closed because 40% of D.C. restaurants were closed, and now they're back open. He's just making up numbers. Like, D.C. restaurants are actually doing worse off now under Donald Trump. But okay, this is what makes you happy to do deranged lies by saying 40%. I think we would know if 40% of D.C. restaurants were closed, but go ahead.
See that because D.C. is now a safe place. People want to be here. The restaurants are opening. If you go back a year, nobody wanted to go to restaurants. They lost 40% of their restaurants. They closed. They had no business. And the restaurants that were open were doing no business. And people felt unsafe, even sitting, waiting for a meal. People would come in and do bad things. We don't have that anymore. And now restaurants are open. You can't even get into a restaurant now in Washington, D.C. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
And then Donald Trump heaps praise on the owner of the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft. Play this clip.
They don't give a Bob Kraft never gave a Bob Kraft, you ever give it up? Look at him. He had a lousy team last year. He didn't know what that was. And now he's leading the NFL again. I'm sure your other owners are extremely happy for you, though. They're thrilled. They're just thrilled.
The former First Lady had to worry about her daughters being targeted because a reality TV star weaponized a racist lie for political gain. Kimmel got the first late-night interview about this. Michelle didn't back down. She stood by every word. Trump's response? Deflection. I guess she wrote a book. She got paid a lot of money. Then attacked Barack. I'll never forgive him for what he did to our military. Couldn't defend the lie. Couldn't apologize for endangering the Obamas. Just attacked and deflected. That's what guilty people do. But Michelle Obama didn't just call out Trump's racism. She exposed something deeper. How Trump weaponizes fear against families to gain power.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple. Just like dominoes, one by one, they'll go down.
That was also in 2022. And I wonder, how did that guy turn into this guy?
Who would you like to see replace Kimmel on late night?
Well, a lot of people, anybody could replace him. The guy had no talent. Kimmel he was fired, he had no talent. It's a whack job. but he had no talent, and more importantly than talent, he had no, because a lot of people have no talent, they get ratings, but he had no ratings.
Well, I do tonight.
The president and his allies are trying to tap into that frustration and distract from his breathtaking failures by giving folks someone to blame other than them. They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. It's true. Research backs it up. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all. So what the president is doing is once again patently false. It's morally wrong. And yes, it is racist. But that doesn't mean it won't work.
And if you were wondering, hey, Ben, when's he going to talk about affordability or health care? Because people's health care is getting ripped away. The Affordable Care Act subsidies need to be extended. And if they're not, people are going to lose their health insurance. When's he going to talk about housing, the fact that his oligarch private equity friends are buying up all the housing so people can't afford homes? Ben, when's he going to focus on education? No, he's not. He then talks about the young girls at the White House. He says these young women, they always keep saying, thank you, Donald. Thank you. Here, play this clip.
And I walk through the White House and I see especially young women say, sir, thank you very much. And I know immediately what they're saying. They're not thanking me for the 8 wars that we've stopped. They're not thanking me for even the tax cuts or any of the other things we've done. They're thanking me because they can actually walk to the White House. They feel safe now in the city. And they are. I want to thank our National Guard. They've been unbelievable, the National Guard.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking creepy right there. He goes, the young women say thank you to me. Gross. Then Donald Trump, before this, held an Oval Office presser. Then they went to the State Department where he had like Kiss, Gene Simmons, and you had Sylvester Stallone and all these weird people there. And then Donald Trump says, you know, and I'm going to be hosting these awards, he says. He goes, and if I don't beat out Jimmy Kimmel, in terms of talent, then I shouldn't be the president. Here, play this clip.
We very much appreciate it. Now we're going to go to the State Department with Secretary of State Rubio and have a special event, something which was never done before, but we never had a president hosting the awards before. This is the first. I'm sure they'll give me great reviews, right? You know, they'll say he was horrible. He was terrible. It was a horrible situation. No, we'll do fine. I've watched some of the people that host. Jimmy Kimmel was horrible. And some of these people, if I can't beat out Jimmy Kimmel in terms of talent, then I don't think I should be president.
Dude, you're that obsessed with Jimmy Kimmel still? I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is a talented late night comedian. Can you act like just act like a grown up? I shouldn't even be saying, like, act like an adult. Like, what are you even doing here? Then Donald Trump says, another moment where he heaps praise on Sylvester Stallone. Here, play this clip.
Sylvester Sly Stallone. Sly. Thank you. This is great, Sly. It's an honor.
Oh, thank you.
Fear could make your world small, she said on that appearance. That's why people use it to manipulate us, to keep us afraid of each other. That November 2018 appearance, real, documented. You can find it on IMDb. November 15th, 2018, episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Michelle Obama and Lin-Manuel Miranda were the guests. It happened. No one needs to tell you to watch before it disappears because it's already archived forever. December 12th, 2022. Michelle returns to Kimmel promoting The Light We Carry. This is during Trump's classified documents scandal, stolen boxes of top-secret files at Mar-a-Lago, FBI raids, nuclear secrets in bathrooms. Kimmel asks, if Barack runs short of wrapping paper, does he wrap gifts in top-secret documents he borrowed from the White House? Michelle laughs. The crowd goes wild. Then, we don't have any.
Now, the president's name is President Tshisekedi. From the Congo, they call it Congo. But don't interrupt Donald Trump when he's in the middle of a little stroke. This conflict between Rwanda and the Congo has been going on for decades. Millions of people have been killed. They're still fighting as of today. But that didn't stop Dr. Art of the Deal from acting like he mediated a dispute between neighbors over a broken sprinkler head.
I think they liked each other a lot. I spent time with them. I think they liked some people may be surprised. I really do. I think they've spent a lot of time killing each other, and now they're going to spend a lot of time hugging, holding hands, and taking advantage of the United States of America economically like every other country does. Look at them. Look at the way they love each other.
Massive cheers. The kicker. And if we had, I guarantee you my husband would be in somebody's jail by now. The audience loses it because it's true. If Barack Obama, a black president, had done 1/10 of what Trump did, he'd be in federal prison. But Trump walks free, claiming persecution. That wasn't just a joke. Michelle used comedy to expose the double standard in American justice. White privilege in one perfect sentence that got thunderous applause. And this appearance is documented too. December 12th, 2022, on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Michelle Obama and Mark Maron were the guests. IMDb has it. Rolling Stone covered it. It's real. Drop a comment telling me which moment you think was more brutal, the 2018 "I'll never forgive him" or the 2022 "he'd be in jail" line. But Michelle wasn't alone. Barack was destroying Trump on Kimmel too. October 24th, 2016. Barack appears during the campaign, after Trump's Access Hollywood tape.
And I'm not sure if you see on his desk, I'll just show you another angle right here. You know that fake peace prize that he gave himself? Yeah, that's sitting on his desk. Like, he keeps stealing and making up fake trophies and stuff for himself, like one of the FIFA championship trophies and then this weird fake peace prize. And you see it right there in the Oval Office. Again, deranged behavior right there. Then he talks about he goes, "In a few moments, we will be presenting these stars with the Kennedy Center Honors Medallions. And this year, they were redesigned from Tiffany. Tiffany's & Co. redesigned it." Here, play this clip.
In a few moments, we will be presenting these stars with their Kennedy Center Honors Medallions, which were redesigned this year with the help of the fantastic team at Tiffany & Company. And I want to congratulate them. They have done a fantastic job. They're wonderful people. I know them very well because they're right next to Trump Tower. I've lived with them for many years, and they really have done a great job. So I want to thank Tiffany. Thank you very much. We're also joined by members of the Kennedy Center Board of Trustees who are doing a really great job. And as you know...
Obama's take? If your best friend at work had that video, it'd be a problem, and he's not running for president. Then mean tweets. Obama reads Trump's attack. President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States. Obama looks at the camera. Well, at least I will go down as a president. Drops the phone like a mic. Crowd erupts. The contrast was devastating. Obama was president. Trump was a failed casino owner and reality TV host. November 2020. Obama returns promoting A Promised Land. Kimmel asked if he made it 700 pages to make sure Trump never reads it. Obama, I don't think it would have had to be 700 pages. They discuss Trump's conspiracy that Obama didn't kill bin Laden. Obama talks about planning the raid while dealing with a guy saying I wasn't born where I was born, the weirdness of modern politics. These moments, all real, all documented, all verifiable. So here's the bottom line. You don't need fake viral posts to find moments when the Obamas destroyed Trump. The real moments are even better because they're true. Michelle Obama calling Trump unforgivable for endangering her daughters? Real. Michelle Obama saying Barack would be in jail if he'd done what Trump did? Real. Barack Obama dropping the mic on Trump's worst president tweet? Real. Barack Obama mocking Trump's conspiracy theories? Real. The fake story wants you to believe some dramatic showdown just happened, but the truth is even more powerful. For years, the Obamas have been methodically, consistently, eloquently exposing Trump's racism, corruption, and incompetence on live television, with receipts, with evidence, with grace and humor that makes Trump look even smaller in comparison. That's why people create fake stories, because the real ones are so damaging, they need to create noise to distract from the truth. So next time you see a viral post claiming some explosive confrontation that shook Washington, ask for the date, ask for the episode number, ask for the news coverage, because if it's real, it'll be documented. And if someone tells you to watch before it disappears, you know it's fake. The truth doesn't disappear. The truth gets archived, fact-checked, and stays available forever. Subscribe to this channel for more real, documented exposés of Trump's failures and the people brave enough to call him out. Because trust me, we've got plenty more where this came from, and every single bit of it is verifiable. The Obamas don't need fictional showdowns to destroy Trump. The real moments do that just fine.